Brian sat in the passenger seat of the sleek black car, arms resting on his duffel bag. His clothes, a simple hoodie, faded jeans, and scuffed sneakers, felt completely out of place as the car rolled up to the front of Maple Grove Academy. Everything about this place was pristine. The gates, the towering buildings, the students in crisp uniforms who barely glanced his way. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaling, feeling like he didn't model near. Albert Bennett, the Hart family butler, glanced at him from the driver's seat. "You'll recognize Miss Hart right away. She has a presence." Brian smirked slightly. "Not one to go unnoticed, huh?" Albert took on a warning tone. "She won't be easy on you. She doesn't take kindly to things she doesn't agree with. And now she might not be too pleased with your arrival." Brian didn't respond, just nodded in acceptance of his fate. The car rolled to a stop. Brian spotted her instantly. Stella Hart. She stood beneath a cherry blossom tree, arms crossed, perfectly poised. Golden hair, tailored uniform a designer, watch on her wrist, everything about her screaming mouth. Her lips were slightly pursed, her sharp eyes, scanning the courtyard like she owned it. Next to her, Harper Adams leaned in, whispering something that made Stella smirk slightly. A few feet away stood Peter Kingston, a tall, muscular boy with exceptionally good looks. You could say he looked like a model from a sports car commercial. He looked over at Stella with a lazy smirk before running his fingers through his hair, as if he were the most charming boy on campus. He made his way to her with a slight spring in his step. "Come on, Stella. One day, you and me, we'd look—" Stella's grip on her bag tightened. "I'd rather not." Her voice was quiet, firm, but polite. Peter leaned closer. "That wasn't a no." Harper rolled her eyes. "Peter, take a hint before you embarrass yourself." Peter let out an exaggerated sigh. "One day, Stella, you're gonna say yes." He scoffed, about to try again. But before he could get another word out, Harper nudged Stella. "Oh, look who finally showed up." Stella followed her gaze, straight to Brian. Her expression froze. Then her lips curled into something unreadable. "You've got to be kidding me." Brian stepped out, a duffel bag slung over one shoulder. His wrinkled hoodie and scuffed sneaker set him apart, a stark contrast to the polished students of Maple Grove. He wasn't self-conscious, but he was aware, the other hand. Took one glance at him and immediately lost interest. "This is the bodyguard my father sent," she muttered. Harper covered her mouth, amused. "Stella, be nice." Stella let out a sharp, humorless laugh. "I thought my father had standards." Brian raised an eyebrow, but said nothing. Stella turned fully to Albert, ignoring Brian altogether. "Tell me this is a joke." Albert remained neutral. "Your father was quite serious, Miss Stella." Stella's gaze flicked back to Brian, finally acknowledging him directly. "You look like you just crawled out of a basement." Brian, still calm, adjusted his bag strap. "Not a basement. Chinatown." Harper grinned. "This is going to be fun." Stella exhaled sharply, turning away. "This is ridiculous. My father thinks I need protection? Fine, but I refuse to be followed around by this." Brian finally spoke, his voice steady, but not relative. "If you're expecting me to beg for your approval, you'll be waiting a long time." Stella's eyebrows lifted slightly. Harper let out a low whistle. "Oh, I think he just challenged you." Stella ignored her. Instead, she turned to Albert. "Take him back. I'll tell my father to find someone better." Brian exhaled. Off to a good start. Hopefully it only gets better. Before Stella could continue dismissing him, Harper grinned suddenly. "Hold on. Maybe he can prove himself." Stella, unimpressed. "How?" Harper motioned toward Peter Kingston. "Brian, go tell Peter to leave Stella alone." Stella rolled her eyes. "Harper, this is a waste of time." Harper smirked. "Maybe, but I want to see what he does." Brian sighed, dropping his bag on the ground. Fine. He walked toward Peter, hands in his pockets. Peter barely looked at him. And who the hell are you? Brian didn't answer. Instead, he moved a small, precise shift. His foot lightly tapped Peter's ankle from behind, a move so subtle no one saw it happen. Peter stumbled, not enough to fall, just enough to look foolish. Peter stiffened, his hands clenched into fists. Brian's expression remained calm. My mistake. You see, I seem to lose control of my legs when I see a good-for-nothing brat harassing a pretty girl. Peter glared, but as he walked away, Harper grinned. Okay, that was smooth. Stella, arms still folded, studied with wild interest. Now that was unnecessary, she muttered. Brian glanced at her. She still wasn't convinced. Maybe, but at least now he won't bother you. Stella looked at him for a second longer. Then, without another word, she turned and walked toward the car. I think she's warming up to you. Brian sighed, grabbing.